So what is going on, my YouTube people? 2099 back here with another video, and in today's video we're going to be previewing and predicting the Europa League and Europa Conference League round of 16. The draws have just been made a few hours ago. I'm recording it right after. I had to rush this video a little bit. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. I'm very close to 3,000 subscribers. Like the video as well. If you could reach 20 likes, that would be very, very nice. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start with the Europa League first, and then we're gonna move on to Europa Conference League. Before I start, I just want to say this video is being uploaded obviously just as the draw has happened. So these games are gonna be played in February. So obviously a lot of these opinions / preview predictions can be modified later on the year. I mean, this is being uploaded even before the World Cup. A lot can happen from now till then. We're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be making a follow-up video just before it actually starts. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Barcelona, Manchester United. I think I'm more excited to watch this than some of the ones in the UCL, but nevertheless, I have no idea who can win. Barcelona, they have just been severely underperforming in the Champions League, as we all know. They haven't even been bad in the league. That's the issue. They've been terrific in the league. They've been winning their games, but yeah, when it comes to really big oppositions like Inter Milan and Bayern, they couldn't hack it, unfortunately. So Manchester United, even in the Europa League, they've been underperforming. They finished second. Real Sociedad finished above them. I really don't know who can win this. I'm gonna give this to Barcelona, and the only reason why I'm giving this to Barcelona is because Manchester United not only weren't doing too well in Europa League, they're not doing too well in the Prem as well. At the time of recording, they just lost against Aston Villa 3-1, I believe, and like I said, this game is going to be played in February, so a lot can happen until then. If that's the way Manchester United are going to go from now on till then, it's not looking good at all for them. Next game is Juventus versus FC Nantes. Now, I actually backed up FC Nantes in the group stages quite a bit. In my prediction video that I did a few months ago, I actually backed Nantes a lot, but they're playing Juventus, a team that, like Barcelona, have underperformed in the Champions League. But again, I just don't see Juventus prevailing to Nantes. I mean, I'd be very, very surprised. Moving on to the next one, we got Sporting and that Danish team that I still do not know how to pronounce the name of. And Sporting, they haven't even been terrible in the UCL. So, you know, to see them in the Europa League is a little bit upsetting. But nevertheless, that's where they are now, and they're just going to have to deal with it. But I think Sporting has this in the bag. I don't see them lose against that Danish team. And like I said, they were really good in the UCL, so it's not like they're on bad form or anything. As for Shakhtar and Rennes, I'm gonna go with Rennes here. I think they've been pretty decent. I haven't really been watching any of Shakhtar's games, and neither have I watched Rennes' games, but from what I've seen, the highlights and such, I think Rennes just look a lot more convincing. Next, Ajax and Union Berlin. Obviously, I think I want Union Berlin to win the whole thing, simply because there's Jamie Lievening playing there, and I want to back him up. But they're playing a very tough team in Ajax. Realistically, Ajax, again, an underperforming team. They haven't been great in the UCL this season. But with the quality of players that they have, I think they can still beat Union Berlin. Let me explain why. Union Berlin in the Europa League have been a very boring team to watch. What happened with Union Berlin is that they've won their games with only a goal difference. Always 1-0. Or it was just a boring campaign to watch so far. Ajax can use that to their advantage. And I think Ajax will score more goals, and I think it's going to be a question of who can outperform the other in terms of goals, which in that case, I think it's going to be Ajax. I mean, Union Berlin doesn't seem like they want to score any goals. So I hate saying that because I really want Berlin to win, but I think it's going to go to Ajax. Next up, we've got Bayer Leverkusen and AS Monaco. Again, Leverkusen, which have been not only disappointing in the UCL, I think they've been disappointing in the Bundesliga. They've been disappointing this season, let's face it. But they've started to slowly pick up form. Again, they beat Union Berlin on the weekend 5-0. That is very impressive. And with injuries coming back, you know, Osmoon and such, I think they're going to beat Monaco. I think it's good enough for them. I think they have the quality in the team it takes to beat AS Monaco. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem for them. Next, we've got Sevilla and PSV. I haven't seen much of PSV, but I know they're on a roll in the other divisions at the moment. We've got players like Cody Gakpo doing very, very well. But on the other side, you've got Sevilla, who are also a decent team. And to this, I actually am going to back up PSV. I think if Cody Gakpo shows up and the players around him shows up, I think they will just do fine. But Sevilla, we know, are a king of the Europa League. They are very, very good when it comes to this tournament, but maybe they will get dethroned this time at PSG. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Last but not least, we've got Salzburg and Roma. Again, Salzburg, they weren't necessarily bad in the UCL, but they weren't necessarily the best either. Roma, they've been good as well. They haven't been too bad. I'm gonna give this to Roma. Salzburg didn't really convince me that much. They've got a few decent players, you know, in Noah Okafor and Adamu, but I think Roma is going to win this quite easily. Now let's move on to the Europa Conference League, which I actually haven't watched that much of this season. I haven't had the time to, unfortunately, but nevertheless, let's move on to the first game, which is Karabakh versus Gent or Ghent. I'm not sure how you say it. Please let me know. So it's a very interesting game. Karabakh have done very well from what I've seen. So has the Belgian team. Now I'm gonna back up the Azerbaijanis here. Karabakh, hopefully they go far. That would be nice. Like I said, I haven't watched both teams that much, but from what I've seen in the highlights, they both just look very good. It's going to be a very close game in my opinion, but I'm going to give this one to Karabakh. Next one, we've got Trabzonspor versus Basel from Switzerland. Trabzonspor, a team that I used to watch a couple of seasons ago because there was many Iranians playing there. If you know, you know. I think since then, they haven't necessarily been the best from what I've seen. They've been decent in the Turkish league, but I'm going to give this to Basel. I think it's going to be not easy, but I think Basel have what it takes to beat a team like Trabzonspor. Next up, we've got Lazio and Cluj. Lazio, I think, is going to easily beat Cluj. No offense to Cluj, but Lazio is just top. Cluj are going to have to come with a masterclass of performance here against Lazio. Bodo Glimt versus Lech Poznan. Probably said that wrong. Lech Poznan that have been very good in the Polish league. I've seen some of their results. And Bodo Glimt as well, which they've been very good. This is going to be a very close game here. I'm going to give this to Bodo Glimt simply because they always just look more convincing when they play, from what I've seen at least. Next up, we got Braga and Fiorentina. Now, I've got Fiorentina to win the whole thing. If I want to continue with that prediction, obviously they're going to have to beat Braga here. And Braga, not necessarily a bad team as well, but Fiorentina, I think, have just too much quality for that. But this one's going to go to Fiorentina. As for AEK, Larnaca and Dnipro 1. I don't know much about these two teams, to be honest. I just know AEK Larnaca was very good in the past few seasons in European competitions. They've given teams like Tottenham trouble. Purely just based on that, I'm going to give it to Larnaca. Next up, Sheriff and Partizan Belgrade. This is going to be a very exciting game. We know Partizan, we know Sheriff. Sheriff, a team that has played in Champions League. They've been very decent. I haven't really seen them play that much this season because I haven't had the time. I'm going to go towards Sheriff. I'm going to back them up again because every time I seem to back them up, they've been, proving me right. So if Sheriff do win, I think it will be kind of nice. Next up, we got the last game here, Ludogorets versus Anderlecht. Again, this is very similar to the Lazio Cluj game. I think Anderlecht just has too much quality and good players to beat this Ludogorets team. Maybe not easily. I don't see Ludogorets winning this at all. So that's going to be it for the Conference League and the Europa League round of 16 / knockout round playoff stuff. All now done. If you guys haven't watched the UCL one, go watch it. And yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, like the video, join all my socials, Twitter, Discord, all that. They will all be down in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.